First contact surprise. The Archon Dominion survey vessel Eternal Dawn dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of an unremarkable solar system. Captain Xerath stood on the bridge, her crystalline form catching the light of the distant sun. The system had been marked for routine cataloging, just another stop in the Dominion's endless mission to document and classify the galaxy's civilizations. Life signs detected on the third planet, announced First Officer Kelvin, his tentacles dancing across the holographic display. Primitive technological civilization. They'd barely reached their moon. Xerath didn't bother hiding her disappointment. After 50 cycles of exploration, she'd hoped to find something noteworthy. Standard observation protocols, she ordered. Let's make this quick. But as the Eternal Dawn moved closer to the blue-green world called Earth, their sensors detected something unusual. Deep beneath the planet's surface, powerful energy signatures pulsed with a rhythm that shouldn't exist in a primitive world. Impossible, muttered Chief Scientist Venna, her compound eyes rapidly processing the data. These readings, they matched the ancient resonance patterns. The bridge fell silent. Every spacefaring race knew of the ancients, the mysterious civilization that had vanished from the galaxy 50,000 years ago, leaving behind only fragments of their incomprehensible technology. Finding ancient artifacts was rare enough to make or break careers. Finding them on a primitive world was unprecedented. There must be some mistake, Xerath said, moving to verify the readings herself. But there was no error. The energy signatures were clear and strong, far more potent than any ancient artifacts previously discovered. The Dominion's protocols were clear about primitive civilizations: observe, document, and move on. But these readings changed everything. Xerath made a decision that would alter the course of galactic history. Prepare a landing team, she ordered. Full stealth protocols. We need to investigate these signatures without alerting the natives. Hours later, Xerath led a small team through a complex network of natural caves beneath the human city of Bangkok. Their stealth fields rendered them invisible to human detection, though they needn't have worried. The caves showed no signs of recent human exploration. The energy signatures grew stronger as they descended. The rough cave walls gradually gave way to smooth surfaces that couldn't have been natural. Geometric patterns began to appear, glowing faintly with their own inner light. These patterns, Venna whispered, her scientific detachment cracking. They're not just similar to ancient script, they're identical. But the energy readings, they're stronger than anything we've ever found. The passage opened into a vast chamber that drew gasps from even the most seasoned team members. The walls were covered in flowing ancient script, all of it glowing with that same inner light. But it was what stood in the center of the chamber that froze them in place. A massive pillar of what appeared to be pure energy rose from floor to ceiling, contained within a complex geometric framework. Around its base, control panels hummed with power, not dead or dormant like every other ancient artifact ever found, but fully functional. By the first light, Venna breathed, approaching one of the panels. This is impossible. These systems are active. Everything we've ever found from the ancients has been dead for millennia. But this is still running. Xerath felt a deep unease settling in her crystalline core. Can you access it? Find out what it is. Venna's appendages moved carefully over the panel's surface. The script is clearer than any we found before. This isn't just a facility. It's some kind of monitoring station. It's been watching, collecting data, running calculations. She fell silent, her compound eyes widening. What is it? Xerath demanded. Captain, according to these readings, this facility isn't just monitoring the planet. It's monitoring the humans themselves. Their genetic structure, their development, their potential. Venna's voice shook. There are similar stations all over this planet, all feeding data to this central hub. And they've been active for over 50,000 years. The implications hit Xerath like a gravitational wave. Are you saying? The humans, Venna confirmed, her voice barely a whisper. They're not just living on a planet that the ancients visited. According to this data, they're the ancients' descendants, or more accurately, they are the ancients in a modified form. Zirith stared at the pillar of energy, its light seemingly brighter now, more purposeful. The primitive species they'd dismissed minutes ago were actually the children of the most advanced civilization the galaxy had ever known. And according to these readings, they were starting to wake up. "We need to contact the High Council immediately," Zirith said, her voice steady despite the revelation. Everything is about to change. As if in response to her words, the ancient machinery hummed louder, and new patterns of light began to race across the walls. The awakening had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. The awakening. The news of Earth's discovery sent shockwaves through the Archean Dominion. Within days, the space around Earth filled with ships from every major galactic power, their presence carefully cloaked from human detection. In the vast conference chamber of the Dominion flagship, Celestial Authority, representatives from 100 species gathered to debate the implications of Zirith's discovery. High Chancellor Maxos, his energy form flickering with agitation, addressed the assembled delegates. "We've spent millennia searching for traces of the ancients, building our civilizations on fragments of their leftover technology. And now we find that they've been here all along, hidden in plain sight." The chamber erupted in overlapping voices and telepathic broadcasts. Some demanded immediate contact with the humans. Others called for quarantine. A few suggested more drastic measures. Captain Zirith stood before them, her crystalline form steady despite the chaos. "There's more," she announced, silencing the chamber. "The monitoring stations aren't just observing humans. They're guiding their development. And according to the data we've decoded, they're approaching a critical threshold." Chief Scientist Venna projected a holographic display showing complex genetic sequences. Human DNA contains dormant sequences that are beginning to activate. The process appears to have been carefully planned, designed to trigger when humans reached a specific level of technological and social development. "What kind of changes?" asked Ambassador Krell of the Silicon Collective, their metallic body reflecting the hologram's light. "Enhanced cognitive abilities, increased lifespan, and most significantly," Venna paused, her compound eyes scanning the room, "the ability to interface directly with ancient technology." The implications weren't lost on anyone present. Every spacefaring civilization relied on reversed engineered ancient technology. The idea that humans might soon be able to control it directly was terrifying. Meanwhile, on Earth, the first signs of change were already appearing. In a research lab in Geneva, Dr. Sarah Chen stared at her computer screen, puzzling over an equation that had stumped her team for months. Suddenly, the numbers seemed to shift, revealing patterns she'd never noticed before. The solution appeared in her mind with crystal clarity, as if it had always been there. Similar incidents were occurring across the globe. A teenager in Lagos solved an impossible mathematical proof. A farmer in Peru suddenly understood how to revolutionize sustainable agriculture. A street artist in Tokyo began painting symbols that perfectly matched the ancient script hidden beneath Bangkok. In orbit, the alien observers watched these developments with growing concern. "The awakening is accelerating," Venna reported to the Emergency Council. "The dormant genetic sequences are activating faster than predicted. We estimate full manifestation within months, not years." High Chancellor Maxos's energy form pulsed with concern. "Can we stop it? The process appears to be guided by the monitoring stations." Zirith interjected. "But those stations have safeguards we can't begin to understand. Any attempt to interfere could have catastrophic consequences." "Then we must make contact," declared Ambassador Krell. "Guide them, help them understand their heritage before they access powers they're not ready to control." "With respect, Ambassador," Zirith said, "the data suggests this awakening was carefully planned. The ancients meant for humanity to develop independently, to rediscover their abilities naturally. Perhaps we should trust their wisdom." On Earth, Sarah Chen's breakthrough led to a revolutionary advancement in quantum computing. But as she documented her findings, her hands began typing symbols she didn't recognize, ancient script flowing from her fingers as naturally as her native language. Across the planet, thousands of others were experiencing similar phenomena, their dormant genetic heritage gradually awakening. The Alien Council watched with a mixture of fear and fascination as humanity stood on the brink of transformation. The primitive species they had dismissed was revealing itself to be something far more significant, the hidden inheritors of the galaxy's greatest civilization. In the depths of the monitoring station beneath Bangkok, the energy pillar pulsed with increasing intensity. New sequences of light raced across the walls, and dormant systems began to power up. The next phase was beginning, and not even the ancients' careful plans could fully predict what would happen when humanity finally awoke to its true nature. As the aliens debated their next move, Earth's population remained largely unaware of their hidden potential, and the audience of advanced civilizations watching their transformation. But with each passing day, more humans began to sense that something profound was changing. The awakening couldn't be stopped. Humanity's long dormancy was coming to an end, and the galaxy held its breath to see what would emerge. Hidden legacy. The ancient monitoring station beneath Bangkok had become a hive of activity. Alien scientists worked around the clock, racing to understand the accelerating changes in human civilization. But it was Dr. Sarah Chen who made the breakthrough they had all missed. She stood in the chamber, having been secretly brought there after her quantum computing discoveries caught the attention of the Archon Dominion. Unlike the aliens who had spent months studying the facility, Sarah immediately understood its purpose. Her fingers traced the glowing symbols on the wall, reading them as easily as her native language. "This isn't just a monitoring station," she announced to the stunned alien scientists. "It's a library, a record of everything we once were." Captain Zirith watched as Sarah moved through the chamber with unprecedented confidence. "You can read the ancient script." "Not just read it," Sarah replied, her eyes glowing faintly with an inner light that hadn't been there weeks ago. "I remember it. We all do, now that we're awakening. It's encoded in our DNA, along with everything else they left for us." The revelation sent ripples through the galactic community. Humanity hadn't just been left behind by the ancients. They were the ancients themselves, transformed and hidden away for reasons yet unknown. But why? What could have caused the most powerful civilization in galactic history to essentially restart themselves from scratch? The answer came from an unexpected source. In the Sahara Desert, a young archaeologist named Malik Rahman discovered what appeared to be an ordinary cave painting. But as he studied it, the pigments began to shift and glow, responding to his newly awakened genetics. The cave wall transformed into a holographic message, a warning left by their ancestors. "We faced an enemy we couldn't defeat," the message revealed, transmitted simultaneously to every alien ship in orbit. An entity from between the dimensions, feeding on consciousness itself. Our technology, our advancement, made us visible to it. Our only choice was to hide, to become simple enough to escape its notice while maintaining the seeds of what we once were. In the Dominion flagship, the Alien Council watched in stunned silence as humanity's true history unfolded before them. The ancients hadn't vanished. They had deliberately devolved themselves, scattering their consciousness across billions of human bodies, waiting for the right moment to reawaken. But the awakening brought its own challenges. In cities across Earth, humans were developing abilities that defied conventional science. A street performer in Rio de Janeiro accidentally activated a dormant transportation network, temporarily linking major cities worldwide. A child in Mumbai dreamed of star maps that perfectly matched classified alien navigation charts. The alien civilizations that had once looked down on humanity now found themselves in an unprecedented situation. The species they had dismissed as primitive was rapidly remembering technologies and abilities that made their most advanced achievements look simple in comparison. Some alien factions pushed for immediate intervention, fearing what humanity might become. Others advocated for patience, remembering the wisdom that had guided the ancients' original plan. But events were moving faster than anyone could control. In the depths of space, something stirred. The same entity that had forced the ancients to hide was beginning to notice the reemergence of their power. Humanity's awakening was acting like a beacon, drawing attention they weren't yet ready to face. Dr. Chen, working with a team of both humans and aliens, raced to understand the full scope of their heritage. The monitoring stations weren't just observing humanity. They were protecting them, maintaining a delicate balance between awakening and staying hidden. But that balance was becoming harder to maintain. "We're remembering more every day," she explained to Captain Zirith as they watched new symbols appear across the chamber walls. "But we're not just remembering who we were. We're becoming something new. The ancients didn't just hide us away. They used this time to evolve, to find a different way of existing." The alien council debated endlessly about how to proceed, but the decision was rapidly being taken out of their hands. Humanity's awakening was accelerating, and with it came the realization that the galaxy's power structure was about to undergo a fundamental shift. In orbit, alien ships detected the first signs of what was coming. Ancient defense systems, dormant for millennia, were beginning to power up across the galaxy. Stations, outposts, and technologies that had been sleeping for 50,000 years were responding to humanity's awakening. The primitive species that the galaxy had mocked was revealing itself to be something far more significant, not just the descendants of the ancients, but their next evolution. And as humanity stepped closer to claiming their legacy, the very force that had driven them into hiding was turning its attention back to Earth. The awakening couldn't be stopped, but its outcome remained uncertain. The galaxy watched and waited, knowing that the next phase would determine not just humanity's fate, but the future of all civilizations. The hidden legacy was finally emerging, and with it came both promise and peril beyond imagination. The Great Revelation. The skies above Earth shimmered as ancient defense platforms, hidden in dimensional pockets for millennia, phased back into reality. These massive structures, elegant combinations of energy and matter, took up positions around the planet like silent guardians awakening from a long slumber. The alien fleets that had gathered to observe humanity's transformation found themselves dwarfed by technology that made their most advanced ships look primitive in comparison. In the Bangkok facility, Dr. Sarah Chen stood before the central energy pillar, her consciousness now fully interfaced with the ancient systems. "They're coming," she announced, her voice carrying an echo of ancient power. "The entity has noticed us, just as it did before. But this time, we're ready." Captain Zirith watched in awe as the human scientist manipulated energies that her people had spent generations failing to understand. "What exactly are we facing?" she asked, her crystalline form vibrating with tension. "The entity exists between dimensions," Sarah explained, projecting a holographic model of reality itself. "It doesn't just feed on consciousness. It feeds on advancement, on the very spark of innovation that drives civilizations forward. That's why we had to hide, to become simple enough to escape its notice while we prepared." Across Earth, other awakened humans were accessing similar facilities, each one activating different aspects of their ancestors' defensive network. Malik Rahman, in his Sahara facility, unveiled a vast array of quantum sensors designed to track interdimensional incursions. In the Mariana Trench, a team led by Dr. Elena Rossi activated gravity manipulation systems that could restructure space itself. The Alien Council, now relocated to a massive space station near Jupiter, watched these developments with a mixture of fear and hope. High Chancellor Maxos addressed the emergency session. "We're witnessing the activation of defenses that span the entire galaxy. The humans, the ancients, they weren't just hiding. They were preparing." Ambassador Krell's metallic form shifted uneasily. "Preparing for what?" The answer came from Dr. Chen, her image projected into the council chamber. "We were preparing for evolution. The entity feeds on traditional technological advancement, on the predictable paths that civilizations take. So we found a different path. We didn't just evolve ourselves. We seeded the potential for a new kind of advancement, one that combines technology with consciousness itself. As if to demonstrate, she gestured, and the station's ancient systems responded instantly, displaying technologies that operated on principles the aliens had never imagined. The defensive platforms weren't just weapons, they were extensions of human consciousness, powered by the very thing the entity sought to consume. But the activation of these systems had consequences. Across the galaxy, dormant ancient technology began responding to humanity's awakening. Ships that had been considered dead relics powered up. Abandoned outposts sprang to life, and with each activation, the entity's attention grew stronger. "We can feel it approaching," Malik reported from the Sahara. "It's like a shadow moving between the stars, drawn to the light of our awakening." The alien civilizations, which had once competed for scraps of ancient technology, now found themselves watching as humanity reclaimed control of systems beyond their comprehension. But instead of the feared subjugation, they found something unexpected: an invitation. "We didn't spend 50,000 years hiding just to rule over others," Sarah explained to the council. "We learned from our first encounter with the entity. True advancement doesn't come from domination. It comes from cooperation, from finding new ways to grow together." The defense platforms began linking with alien ships, sharing protective fields that would shield them from the entity's influence. Human scientists worked alongside alien researchers, teaching them to access technologies in ways they had never imagined. The very diversity that the aliens had once dismissed as primitive now proved to be humanity's greatest innovation: the ability to adapt, to change, to find new paths forward. But time was running short. The entity's approach was causing disruptions in spacetime, its hunger growing as it sensed the reemergence of the civilization that had once escaped it. The defensive network was powerful, but untested. Humanity had awakened to their true nature, but their power was still raw, still developing. In orbit, the combined fleet of human-controlled platforms and alien ships prepared for what was coming. The primitive species that the galaxy had mocked was now standing as their last line of defense against a threat they had never known existed. The great revelation wasn't just about humanity's past. It was about the future of all intelligent life in the galaxy. As the first interdimensional distortions began to appear at the edge of the solar system, Dr. Chen addressed the gathered forces. "We hid once before," she declared, her voice carrying across every ship and station. "This time, we stand and fight. Not just for humanity, but for all consciousness, all advancement, all potential." The entity thought it could feed on our progress. Instead, it taught us to progress in ways it could never anticipate. The galaxy held its breath as the shadow between dimensions approached Earth. The awakening had led to this moment, and the future of all civilization hung in the balance. The great revelation was complete. Now it was time for action. Rise of the Elders. The entity arrived not with violence, but with silence. A perfect darkness that consumed light itself spread across the outer edges of the solar system, swallowing planets, moons, and stars from view. The combined fleet of human-controlled ancient platforms and alien vessels held position around Earth, their weapons and shields powered by technologies that bridged the gap between consciousness and physics. Dr. Sarah Chen, now fully integrated with the Bangkok facility systems, felt the entity's presence like a void in reality itself. "It's trying to understand us," she broadcast to the fleet. "It senses something different about our advancement this time." The entity's darkness probed the fleet's defenses, testing them with tendrils of non-existence. But where it had once found predictable patterns of technological advancement to feed upon, it now encountered something entirely new: a fusion of technology and consciousness that defied its understanding. In the Sahara facility, Malik Rahman activated the quantum sensor array, its readings displaying across every ship and station. "The entity isn't just a predator," he announced, his voice carrying newfound authority. "It's the antithesis of evolution itself. It feeds on the predictable paths that intelligence typically follows, consuming the energy of advancement. But humanity had evolved differently during their 50,000 years of hiding. Each human now awakened to their full potential carried within them, not just the knowledge of the ancients, but the creative chaos of their time as a primitive species. They had learned to advance not through pure technology, but through the unpredictable combination of consciousness and innovation. The entity struck, its darkness attempting to engulf Earth. But the defense platforms responded in ways it couldn't anticipate, their energy patterns shifting and adapting with the innovative spontaneity of human consciousness. The alien fleet, guided by human operators, moved in formations that defied conventional strategy. Now, Dr. Chen commanded, and humanity revealed their true innovation. The defense platforms didn't just protect, they began to broadcast consciousness itself, amplifying not just human awareness, but the combined consciousness of every species in the fleet. The entity, designed to feed on predictable patterns of advancement, found itself facing something unprecedented: a unified field of diverse consciousness, each species contributing its unique perspective to create something greater than the sum of its parts. Ambassador Krell's Silicon Collective ships interfaced with human systems in ways that created entirely new forms of quantum computing. Captain Zerith's crystalline technology resonated with ancient energy systems to generate shields that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Each alien species found their technology transformed by contact with humanity's awakened potential. The entity recoiled, its darkness fragmenting as it encountered this new form of advancement. But humanity wasn't content just to defend. 50,000 years of preparation had taught them that true victory required more than just resistance. "We offer you a choice," Sarah broadcast, her consciousness reaching out to touch the entity's awareness. "You feed on advancement because that's all you've known. But we can show you another way to exist, to evolve beyond mere consumption." The entity paused, its darkness holding position at the edge of the solar system. For the first time in its ancient existence, it encountered a form of advancement it couldn't simply consume, a type of evolution that offered something new. In that moment of hesitation, humanity and their alien allies struck, not with weapons, but with understanding. The combined consciousness of the fleet reached out to the entity, offering it a share in their new form of advancement. The void that had threatened to consume them began to change, its darkness taking on new properties as it learned to participate in evolution rather than feed upon it. The transformation was not instant, but it was profound. The entity that had once threatened all advanced life began to evolve itself, guided by the very species it had tried to consume. The galaxy watched in awe as humanity demonstrated not just their power, but their wisdom. In the aftermath, the power structure of the galaxy underwent a fundamental shift. Humanity emerged not as conquerors, but as guides. Their 50,000 years of hiding had taught them the value of diversity, of finding new paths forward that no one could predict. The alien civilizations, which had once dismissed humans as primitive, now sought their guidance in exploring new forms of advancement. The ancient technology scattered throughout the galaxy was gradually reactivated, not to dominate but to connect, to foster new forms of evolution that even the entity could participate in without consuming. Dr. Chen stood in the Bangkok facility one last time, preparing to transfer its systems to a new joint council that would represent all species. "We were never meant to rule," she explained to the gathered representatives. "We were meant to show that true advancement comes not from power, but from the infinite possibilities that arise when different forms of consciousness learn to grow together." The primitive species that the galaxy had mocked had become something far greater than mere rulers or conquerors. They had become teachers, showing the way toward a form of advancement that no one, not even an interdimensional entity, could have predicted. As the new era dawned, humanity embraced their role not as the galaxy's masters, but as its elder siblings, helping guide younger civilizations while continuing to explore the endless possibilities that arose from their unique path of evolution. The entity that had once threatened them now participated in this growth, its presence a constant reminder that even the most fundamental forces of the universe could learn to change. The awakening was complete, but the true adventure was just beginning. The galaxy faced a future where advancement meant not just technological progress, but the infinite potential that arose from the combination of consciousness, creativity, and cooperation. Humanity had not just reclaimed their legacy, they had transformed it into something greater than their ancestors could have imagined.